The May 2026 Visa Bulletin is out, and on the surface, it looks like good news for family-based visa applicants. The dates are moving, categories are advancing, and things seem to be getting better. But I need to warn you about something, because what's actually happening behind these numbers is one of the most misleading situations I have seen in my years of following the Visa Bulletin. And if you do not understand why these dates are moving, you could make a very costly mistake, either by moving too slowly or by getting blindsided when things reverse. Today, I am going to be breaking down the May Visa Bulletin for family-based applicants, tell you exactly what has changed, and then pull back the curtain on what I'm calling the green card trap, the hidden reason these dates look better, but they actually aren't. Stay with me because this matters. I am U.S. immigration attorney Lilian Chukwurah, and I help my clients get green cards and citizenships for themselves and their families using the U.S. immigration law system. And yes, I know the system is changing every single day, but there is still a system, and we help our clients navigate that system and all the changes that are happening. If you are new here and you are not familiar with the Visa Bulletin, I'm going to give you like a 30-second quick intro to the Visa Bulletin. Every single month, the State Department puts out the Visa Bulletin that tells us where they are in processing visas for different visa categories. You can use the Visa Bulletin to determine how soon you can expect your visa to be approved, for your visa interview to be scheduled, and most importantly, if you are physically in the U.S. and need to apply for adjustment of status, you use the Visa Bulletin to know when you can actually file that adjustment of status application, because USCIS chooses which chart. There's two charts. The USCIS chooses which chart they're using for the date for filing. So there's two charts when it comes to the Visa Bulletin. There's the date for filing chart, and then there's the final action date chart. The date for filing chart is basically the date you can start your visa application or start your whatever application you're filing with the embassy or with USCIS. The final action date chart is really crucial because that tells you when USCIS or the embassy can actually approve your case based on your visa priority date. In order to get the most out of the Visa Bulletin, you need to know two things. You need to know your visa category and you need to know your priority date. Without these two things, the Visa Bulletin is not helpful to you. So make sure you have those two things, and then let's look at the Visa Bulletin together. Let's go through the numbers, and I want to be precise here because whether a date moved and by how much actually directly affects when you can take action on your case or expect action on your case. I'll cover the two charts separately, the date for filing, which is typically when you can submit your I-485 or expect your visa application to start with the National Visa Center. For May 2026, USCIS has specifically said that they will be using the date for filing chart for when you can apply for that green card application for a family-based application. Like I said, the date for filing chart determines when you can apply for your I-485 with USCIS, when you can expect that welcome letter or welcome email from the embassy to start your DS-260, your affidavit of support, all of that. So this is why this is important, because if you know your priority date, you can kind of gauge when you can start expecting that action from the National Visa Center or when you can start applying for your green card. So for F1, which is the unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, we saw massive movement here. So worldwide, China and India advanced 7 months. 7 months from March 1st, 2018 to October 1st, 2018. 7 months, guys. Mexico advanced about 5.5 months to October 1st, 2008. The Philippines stayed flat at April 22, 2015. Again, not every country is going to see movement, but there were massive movement in every single country except for the Philippines. For F2A, which are the spouses and children of lawful permanent residents, this category remains current across all countries. This means that no priority date cutoffs. So if you are in F2A, you can file your I-485 right now, regardless of your priority date. That is a significant opportunity for people in this category. For F2B, the unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of lawful permanent residents, we are seeing worldwide China and India advance approximately 5 months from August 2017 to January 1st, 2018. Mexico and Philippines held steady. Again, not every single country is going to see movement, but it is important to know that movement is happening in some of these categories. And even within a category, we can see movement in some countries and not others. For F3, the married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, we saw modest movement here. Okay, worldwide, China and India inch forward about 2 to 3 weeks to December 8 to 2012. Mexico and the Philippines moved only slightly as well. Brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens, which is the F4 category, worldwide China advanced about 3.5 months to September 1st, 2009. India, Mexico, and the Philippines remained unchanged. Okay, nothing changed there, but worldwide and China did move 3.5 months. Now let's look at the final action date chart. This chart determines when your application can actually be approved, which is why it's so important to look at it. Okay, it gives you a lot of information. So if you have a green card application pending, this is where you want to look at to see when can you actually expect a decision on your case. If you are filing with the embassy, it will kind of give you an idea of when you can expect an interview, because typically after your interview, you're getting a decision. So that final action date typically happens before your interview. So for the F1, again, unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, we are seeing worldwide China and India advance 4 months to September 1st, 2017. Mexico advanced 6 months to August 15, 2007. And Philippines held flat at May 1st, 2013. For F2A, spouses and children of lawful permanent residents advanced 6 months across all countries to August 1st, 2024. And then Mexico advanced to August 1st, 2023. This is a strong movement for one of the most active visa categories that we have. For F2B, the unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents that are over the age of 21, there is no movement this month, right? Worldwide, China and India remain steady at May 22, 2017. Mexico stayed at February 15, 2009, and the Philippines stayed the same at April 8, 2013. For F3, married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, there was a small but meaningful movement. Again, we celebrate all movement when it comes to the Visa Bulletin, because even a small movement can be massive if your priority date is within that movement, okay? So for worldwide China and India, we saw a movement forward about 7 weeks to February 15, 2012. The Philippines advanced nearly 5 months to November 22, 2005. Again, not massive in some cases, but that advancement in the Philippines is significant. And we'll talk about why it may not be as massive as you think. For F4, brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens, worldwide and China advanced about 3 months to September 15, 2008. Philippines moved forward significantly, nearly 5.5 months to July 15, 2007. Again, we'll be watching that. India and Mexico saw no change. So, on paper, these are real advances. They are moving forward. But the real question you need to ask yourself is, why are the dates moving? If you are going through your own visa or green card journey, not knowing where to start, what to do, what the visa category you are in is, what you need to know about the Visa Bulletin and how it affects your case, feel free to schedule a strategy session with me. Let's talk about your situation and let's figure out the best way I can help you on your immigration journey? And the answer to that question is what I want to talk to you about next, because it will change everything about how you should respond to all the changes that we just saw in the Visa Bulletin. Let me ask you a question. If fewer people can actually use their green cards right now, what happens to the number that were set aside for them? Think about it for a second. Those numbers become available for everyone else. The line appears to move faster, but it's not because the system is getting better, but because a large group of people got pushed out of the line. That is exactly what is happening right now. The Trump administration has implemented a national-based travel ban, right, for nationals of nearly 40 countries. And then there's also an adjudication pause, a freeze on processing visa applications and I-485 applications for nationals of more than 75 countries at the embassy. And now, on top of that pause for the 75 countries at the embassy, USCIS has just put a pause on all green card applications, all visa applications through USCIS that requires a biometrics, and that's green cards. So we're talking about applicants from Nigeria, Pakistan, Brazil, Haiti, Philippines, dozens of nations that are not able to get their visa applications approved at the embassy, and now are not also able to get their green cards approved with USCIS. And that is regardless of their priority date and whether they qualify for the visa or the green card or not. So because those numbers are not being used, guess what happened? It looks like there's a big jump. There's all these visas available. We're seeing 5-month jumps, 7-month jumps. Again, not because there's all of a sudden, U.S. Embassy is just being so efficient. No, it's because they are not able to issue those visas. So now there's more visas available to other countries, right? To more people. And that is the real trap here, okay? This is not real progress when it comes to the Visa Bulletin. The moment the administration decides to lift the pause, to lift the travel ban, we are going to see all of these visas that are currently available not be available. We may even see retrogression in the visa categories. And what does retrogression mean? It means that now more people are going to be qualified to apply for a visa, and there's not going to be enough visas available. That's going to mean that the priority date on that visa bulletin that's saying that you can file your visa application that jumps 7 months may jump 7 months backwards. The May 2026 bulletin itself contains a direct language that says if demand increases or the government revises its restrictive actions, it may be necessary to retrogress some of these dates before the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, 2026. Again, retrogression means the date will go backwards, and people who assume they had time suddenly find themselves locked out again. So if your visa category is current, if your priority date is current as of May 1st, 2026, do not delay, because you do not know what's going to happen when it comes to the June Visa Bulletin, okay? You don't know if we're going to have some of these travel bans lifted. We don't know if we're going to have some of these pauses lifted, which will cause a retrogression in the Visa Bulletin. So if your priority date is current as of today, you better be moving quickly to get your visa applications in. And all of that is the green card trap that I keep talking about. The dates move forward, okay, for a reason that could disappear overnight. And if you are waiting to file, you could lose your window of opportunity to file your green card application if you qualify to adjust your status in the U.S. and your priority date is current. So what does this actually mean for you as a family-based visa applicant? One, you need to check your priority date. Okay, if you are watching this video and you do not know what your priority date is, please stop, go check your priority date. first and foremost. USCIS is accepting family-based I-485 applications based on the date for filing chart, which again, like I said, is very generous right now. So you want to go ahead and apply. Even though USCIS has a pause on making decisions on cases, there is no pause on you being able to file the application. So if you qualify to adjust your status, do not wait, okay? Go ahead and file based on your priority date, not whatever USCIS is doing with the pause. The pause is what's making it possible for these categories to move forward, okay? Do not wait for the perfect date, the perfect timing. Gather your documents, get your application done, get your medical exam done, get your financial support materials together, and file your application. Again, if you are in one of these categories, you do not want to wait till June because you do not know what's going to happen from now to the June bulletin being out. Because if there's any movement as far as the travel bans being lifted or the pause being lifted, you can end up not being able to file when it comes to June. There is a real opportunity here for you to basically take advantage of this travel ban, of the pauses, because it is giving opportunity to people that now your visa category is moving, right? That it wasn't moving before. So just make sure that if you are not sure what you can apply for, if you're not sure if you can adjust your status in the US, talk to an immigration lawyer. Figure out what is the best option for you before you file anything. Make sure you qualify for it. If you took one thing away from this video, let it be this. The Visa Bulletin is not just a scoreboard, it is a signal. And right now, the signal is act while the window is open. Okay? If nothing else, act while the window is open and make sure that you are taking advantage of this open window. And make sure that you are taking advantage of this open window because we do not know when they are going to shut it and seal it. Okay, so make sure you're taking advantage of it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me where we talk about your situation and figure out the best way I can help you with your immigration journey, please go to my website, lilylegal.com, click on contact us, and we can schedule a date and time that works best for you for us to talk about your situation.